On the broadcast tonight, Shippensburg celebrates Veterans Day.
And we have a preview of tomorrow's World Kindness Day.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News. Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Adam Beam.
And I'm Victoria LaPrince. Today marked Veterans Day, a day where we remembered all veterans, active and retired, who served the country. This Veterans Day is noteworthy as it is the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers in Arlington National Cemetery. On campus, Shippensburg ROTC held multiple events to commemorate the day.
The overall service to country is incredibly important, and the service that the veterans have agreed to provide their country is something that needs to be recognized.
The day's event started with a ceremony in Memorial Auditorium at 11. Speakers included Lieutenant Colonel Furman, Lieutenant Colonel Jones, and Interim President Patterson, and other members of the Shippensburg University ROTC. They spoke about what Veterans Day meant to them and discussed why it was important to recognize the day. The university's Multicultural Students Affairs Office also hosted a salute to those who served event in Gilbert Hall. This was a discussion with both active and retired members of the U.S. military, where students could come and ask questions and listen to how their service impacted their lives. A group of Shippensburg residents are joining together to stop potential violence and harmful activities near campus and the surrounding area. Chris Jackson went to Facebook to recruit local citizens to participate in a walk around the neighborhood. The walkers consisted of 2 to 4 concerned citizens walking around the neighborhood. Their goal is to discourage violent and criminal activities in the town of Shippensburg. Along with their goal of discouraging violent activity, the walkers aim to be a positive presence in the community by talking with students and encouraging students to call 911 if they see any suspicious activity. Be sure to tune in next week as we take an in-depth look at the neighborhood walkers. Shippensburg 48th Annual Feed a Friend Drive is needing your donations. The Francis M. Banks Feed a Friend Drive is collecting donations to provide Thanksgiving baskets to families in need in the community this holiday season. Students, faculty, administrators, and staff can send monetary donations and Thanksgiving basket goods into the African American Organization at Gilbert Hall 102. Checks can be payable to Wise Market, or you can go to the C-store in the Cub and purchase one of the designated items. The Multicultural Students Affairs Office is collecting these donations until November 15th. Last year, over 300 families were provided with Thanksgiving baskets. The goal for this year is to provide over 300 baskets for families.
This past week, the campus community said goodbye to one of the Cubs' most familiar faces. Mike Dugan, the Executive Director of Campus Life and University Union. However, many students will recognize him from his time as advisor for APB. Mike has been a president on campus since August of 2019, and when I chatted with him earlier this week, Mike had this to say, quote, "While my time was short, over the past month I got to chat with students, faculty, staff, and alumni. When you're doing the work, you don't always think of the impact. However, I am proud to be a member of the Ship family," end quote. Mike also said that the thing he'll miss the most about our campus is the relationships and the people he's met. We here at SUTV wish Mike the best of luck at Syracuse University, where he'll be taking over as Senior Director of Student Engagement in Enrollment and Student Experience. The campus community will have the opportunity to give back to one another tomorrow, Friday, November 12th, as the campus celebrates World Kindness Day. The day is meant to promote unity and compassion among students, faculty, and staff through different acts of kindness. Some of the scheduled events include free tea and coffee from Starbucks at 10 a.m. and Duncan at 2 p.m. However, that will only be while supplies last. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., students will have a chance to paint kindness rocks that will be placed all around the campus that are meant to deliver sweet and encouraging messages to any student that finds them. You can paint one yourself in the Great Hall of the Cub. And from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., students can meet in front of Old Main to partake in a Keep Ship Beautiful initiative where anyone can help clean up a section of campus. Students also have chances to donate foods and non-perishable items for the Feed a Friend program and the Shippensburg Students for Refugees program, also running this week.
When we come back in World News, the White House is hosting its neighbors for a meeting next week.
We have more after the break.
Migrants are fleeing to the European border, and Belarus is taking the blame.
SUTV Stefan Gergashonov has this week's world news.
The EU and US are preparing new sanctions on Belarus over the migrant crisis it created on the border with Poland. Thousands of people have been camping out with few supplies and little shelter as temperatures fall below freezing. They're mostly from the Middle East, brought to this no man's land on Europe's doorstep. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has appealed directly to Russia's Vladimir Putin to exert his influence, if nothing else, to end the suffering of thousands of people. Former President of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk, died today at the age of 85. His party had long supported racial segregation in the country, but de Klerk became a leading agent of change during his 5-year rule. He freed Nelson Mandela from prison after 27 years behind bars. Together they worked to bring an end to the country's long history of institutionalized racial segregation. In 1993, de Klerk shared the Nobel Peace Prize with Mandela for their work to end that policy. He went on to lose the country's first multiracial, fully democratic election to Mandela. His foundation said Thursday he died at his home from cancer. The White House is preparing to host the first North American Leaders Summit in 5 years. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador will join President Joe Biden in Washington, D.C. on November 18th. According to the White House, the leaders will discuss charting a new path for collaboration on ending the COVID-19 pandemic. They will also talk about health security, climate change, equitable growth, and a regional vision for migration. The family of former U.S. Marine Trevor Reed, who is currently imprisoned in Russia, says he is on a hunger strike. According to the 30-year-old's family, his hunger strike started last Thursday, and they are worried about his health. They say it's in protest to his detainment and the, quote, numerous and flagrant violations of his human rights by Russian authorities. Russian state media reported on Tuesday that the prison authorities are denying that Reed is on hunger strike. Reed's family says it's another lie by the Russians. In July 2020, a Moscow court sentenced Reed to 9 years in prison after Reed had an altercation after a night of drinking. He and his family have denied the charges that he endangered the life and health of Russian police officers. A Russian court denied Reed's appeal in late June. The Reed family hopes to meet with President Joe Biden and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan when they visit Washington next month. That's it for this week's World News. I'm Stefan Gergashonov. Now back to Adam and Victoria at the desk.
When we come back in entertainment, the cast of the Wicked movie has been announced.
We have more after this.
Well, Victoria, how have you been handling the whole big change with daylight savings?
It's been a real struggle for me. I feel like I'm supposed to be asleep by 6 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I've been waking up at about 7:30 every morning, and I simply just have no explanation for it.
I feel you. Now let's go over to Marley Bowman, who has this week's weather.
We've had a nice warm up to end the week, but cooler temperatures are back to stay this weekend. Tonight, lows dip down to the mid-50s, and rain will settle across in the valley. Tomorrow, rain will make its way out, and by the afternoon, the sun will be back out with the highs still hanging in the low 60s. Looking ahead, Saturday temps crash into the upper 40s with showers possible throughout the day. Sunday stays dry with a high of 45, but it will feel like almost 40 degrees. Monday, we might see a few snowflakes falling, flurries in the morning with a high of 46. We warm up again by the middle of next week, hitting the 60s by Thursday. We cool down for a moment early next week, but we still have to wait for the cold weather to stay. That's it for this week's weather. Let's go over to Sarah Cox, who has this week's entertainment.
The long-delayed adaptation of the award-winning Broadway musical Wicked has finally begun taking steps forward, those steps being that the film has finally announced its leads. Ariana Grande will be playing Glinda the Good Witch, and Cynthia Erivo will be the Wicked Witch Elphaba. The two are no strangers to musical theater, with Grande debuting on the stage in 13 the Musical and playing Penny in NBC's Hairspray Live. while Erivo won a Tony Award in 2016 for her leading role in The Color Purple. Speaking of casting, fans have petitioned to keep one actor out of the film. Late-night host James Corden has been rumored to play a minor role in the film. However, fans have quickly taken to social media to petition against his appearance. The film will be directed by In the Heights director John M. Chu and currently set to defy gravity in theaters sometime in 2023. This past week, the annual Astro World Festival was met with tragedy. SUTV's Stefan Gergishonov has the details.
8 people are dead and hundreds injured after a crowd surge at Travis Scott's Astroworld concert in Houston. The concert was a part of the larger Astroworld Festival taking place over November 5th and 6th. The incident occurred on Friday, November 5th, just after 9 p.m. Shortly after Travis Scott took to the stage, the deadly crowd surge began. Festival goers were pushed and stampeded towards the front stage, resulting in a pileup of bodies and leaving people unconscious from lack of oxygen. At the end of the surge, 8 people ranging from 14 to 27 years old were dead, and hundreds more were treated for injuries. Although investigators are still uncertain what caused the surge, it's clear that the concert did not stop for 30 minutes after the surge had occurred, making it extremely difficult for victims to receive medical attention quickly. Due to the delay in stopping the concert, Travis Scott is being sued for negligence. Mr. Scott released a statement saying he was, quote, absolutely devastated by what took place last night and pledging to work with the ongoing investigation. More updates to come. I'm Stefan Gergishanov reporting for SUTV News.
As of film time, we regret to say that the death toll has now reached 9 people. We send our condolences to the friends and family who have been affected. As the weather begins to get colder, the reasons for you to stay inside with a warm blanket seem to grow, and Netflix is just one of them. This month, many shows and movies are leaving the streaming platform, including A Knight's Tale, Letters to Juliet, Peppermint, and School of Rock. But not to worry, because many new titles will appear in their place, including, but not limited to, our favorite rivals, Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic in Tiger King 2, Chocolatiers going against each other for the prize of a lifetime in School of Chocolate, and even new seasons of America's Next Top Model and Survivor. So whether you're inside because of the cold or because you're simply a homebody, you'll always have something that's right for you. It's official, Squid Games has been given the green light for Season 2. The show that has received global popularity with over 111 million viewers is coming back for another season. Director, writer, and creator of the show, Hwang Dong-hyo, has not only confirmed the new season by saying, quote, there's been so much pressure, so much demand, and so much love for a second season, so I feel like you leave us no choice, end quote. But he has also confirmed that actor Lee Jong-jae, who played main character Song Gi-hoon, will also be coming back to the screen. The show itself was Netflix's biggest series launch ever and has spawned unofficial custom merchandise, Snapchat lenses, and even Halloween costumes, making it dominate pop culture. Squid Games has created a change in the viewing habits of Western audiences and has helped insert foreign language series and films into mainstream streaming services of English speakers. With K-dramas not usually receiving a second season, I think it's safe to say we're all very excited to see what comes next for this incredible show. That's it for this week's entertainment. I'm Sarah Cox. Let's send it back over to Adam and Victoria at the desk.
When we come back in sports, football heads into senior day this weekend.
We have more after the break.
Field hockey took to the field last weekend in the PSAC Championships. Ship won their semifinal match up against Millersville in overtime with a goal from Yasmin Petrantonio that would send them to the finals against Westchester. Sunday's game against Westchester was the third time these teams met this season. Could Ship pull off the perfect undefeated season and win the PSAC Championship? SUTV's Tyler Danson brings us the highlights from Championship Day.
Last weekend was the field hockey PSAC finals. Going into Sunday's match against Westchester, Shippensburg remained undefeated on the season, was looking to win their first PSAC championship since 2005. Kicking things off in the first quarter, Westchester has all the momentum going their way as they're going to be coming down on the rush here. Cameron Smith is going to take the shot, and it's going to get deflected into the net by Olivia Golgario. 1-0 Rams going into the second quarter. Shippensburg has got to get something going here as we are in the second corner for a penalty corner. Yasmin Petratonio is going to find the ball behind the back pass to Mara Hoekstra, who's going to fire into the back of the net off the Westchester goalie, and she's going to tie the game at 1. Just over a minute after Hoekstra's goal, and Yasmin has the ball yet again. She's in the middle of 4 defenders, but it doesn't really matter. Reverse shot, and that one's in. That was Yaz's 36th of the season, and now a 2-1 lead for the Raiders. Yaz is throwing her hands up in the air. Crowd is getting hype. Momentum has shifted. Just before halftime, as the Raiders are screaming down the field, Adriel McGarrigle and Valupa are going to play some tic-tac-toe, back and forth passing the ball. And the ball's going to find its way to Valupa, who's going to take a nasty snipe from the top of the arc to extend the Ship lead to 3-1. She's running over the crowd. She's getting hype. Things are looking very strong for the Raiders right now. Westchester would attempt to rally back in the second half, but it would not be enough as Ship played a lockdown defensive strategy and only allowed 1 shot on net in the third and fourth quarter. Shippensburg would win the PSAC Championship for the first time since 2005. On the weekend, Yasmin Petratonio would win the tournament MVP in 2 games as she would score 2 goals and have an assist as well. Next up for the Raiders, they'll be traveling to Millersville this weekend for the NCAA National Championship, where they are #1 ranked in the nation as they are looking to claim their 5th national championship title in the last 8 years. From SUTV Sports, I'm Tyler Danson.
Ship Wrestling took to the road on Wednesday night as they took on Waynesburg. The Raiders won 4 of 6 sets on the night and ended up winning by a score of 27-23. The Raiders got back-to-back pins from Matt Milbrand and John Basher to take a 24-11 lead early in the match. Waynesburg would battle back, however, and the match was decided in a heavyweight tilt where Danny Sheeb notched a 3-2 decision to capture the victory. Wrestling has their next match on Wednesday in Bloomsburg. Rachel Verhoff was named the PSAC Athlete of the Week after the Raiders had a 2-0 weekend. Verhoff had a total of 18 kills, while also contributing 3 blocks and 5 service aces. At the Friday game against Bloom, she had 8 kills, 2 digs, a block assist, and a service ace. Saturday's game with Lock Haven, Verhoff totaled 10 kills, her 13th double-digit output this season. This is her first career weekly award and 3rd overall weekly award given to a Raider this season. On Saturday, football hosted Lock Haven for Military Appreciation Day. SUTV's Jack Ainsley has the highlights.
On Saturday, the Shippensburg football team hosted Lock Haven for Military Appreciation Day at Seth Grove Stadium. Early in the first quarter, Raiders in the red zone. Messina in the shotgun, takes the snap, finds David Bellant with a short pass, walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Raiders up early, 7-0. A few minutes later, Jackson Montrose kicks a 26-yard field goal to extend the Raider lead, 10-0. On the next drive for the Lock Haven offense, Jordan Heisley's pass is intercepted by Mike Brewer, who takes it down the other way, 40 yards down inside the 5-yard line. Raiders take over the 3-yard line. Messina hands off to Kyle Evans on the jet sweep, who finds the edge and walks into the end zone for the Raider touchdown. On the next Raider offensive drive, 4th and goal inside the 5, Messina finds Evan Morrow for the easy touchdown. The Raiders extend their lead, 24-0. A few minutes later, Raiders back in the red zone. Messina hands off to DeLucia, who runs into the end zone for the touchdown. The score extends the Raiders' lead, 31-0. Final 15 seconds of the first half. Messina looks, finds Kyle Evans down the sideline, who goes all the way for a touchdown. Raiders go into the halftime locker room up 38-7. On to the second half now, middle of the third quarter. Raiders knocking on the doorstep of the end zone. Messina fakes the handoff and takes it in himself for the rushing touchdown. Raiders extend their lead, 45-7. Middle of the fourth quarter, Lock Haven driving. Purse's pass is intercepted by Ronald Norfleet, who takes it to midfield. Raiders offense strikes one more time in the fourth quarter. Ferrillo under center. Hands off to Jake DeLucia, who runs in for the touchdown. Raiders roll over Lock Haven, 52-14. For SUTV Sports, I'm Jack Ainsley.
The Raiders will take on Mercyhurst this Saturday for their final regular season game. You can watch all of the action right here on SUTV Sports. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. The regular season for soccer has come to an end, and the PSAC has announced its regular season honors. For the men's team, sophomore Seth Crabb has been named to the All-PSAC East First Team. The forward led the Raiders in goals for the second season in a row, finding the back of the net 7 times this year. On the women's side, sophomore Kendra Barlow and senior KK O'Donnell were recognized with honors. Barlow was selected to the Eastern Division second team and is the third goalie in program history to be selected. Barlow finished the season ranked third in saves with 107. O'Donnell was named to the East first team after leading Shippensburg with 6 goals this season. O'Donnell is the first forward to be named to the first team since 2010. That's all for sports this week. I'm Mackenzie Mitchell. Back to Adam and Victoria at the desk.
When we come back, an organization in Michigan is giving back to a veteran in need.
Stay tuned. A veteran in Michigan was forced out his home due to mold until a local veterans group came in to save the day. Victor Williams reports.
Look at this moment where this veteran is now living. It was all made possible by the Downriver for Veterans Association. As you'll see, it's a blessing that was very much needed.
Not on end, please.
Victor Stoddard is a Vietnam vet with personal stories that can last a lifetime.
I'm a Vietnam veteran, Navy, loved it.
But more recently, his most favorite story is how he overcame living with dangerous black mold.
The guy said there's 28,000 per million of black mold in there. And he said that survival is only 500 per million.
Because of that reason, the DFV and organizer Ann Rudisil decided to do something special, giving him a gently used mobile home for the price of absolutely nothing.
Ann opens the door and we walk in. She says, "What do you think, Vic?" I go, "I'm in the Taj Mahal."
The conditions he was living in were absolutely deplorable. A veteran should not live like that.
As a result of the mold, all of Victor's belongings had to be thrown away, with Ann replacing everything down to the furniture. However, let's just say Victor is already paying back his dues. Aside from serving in the Navy, he has spent lots of time volunteering and working at the DFV in Wyandotte, giving his all to the organization that he loves.
We have events. He is relentless on collecting money.
What really hit me and made me cry was she handed me the key and I said, "How much do I owe you?" She said, "You don't owe me a thing."
And Downriver for Veterans is always looking to help those in need just like Victor. So if you or anyone you know is a veteran that is down on their luck and in need of a hand, you can always contact that organization at 734-934-0532. Victor Williams, Local 4.
You know, Adam, I just think it's so nice to see a community helping each other out in a time of need, especially.
Yeah, it really is inspiring. But that is it for SUTV News. I'm Adam Beam.
And I'm Victoria LaPrince. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org.
We'll see you all next week, but good night and happy Veterans Day.